Good morning, gardening friends. It's now Tuesday, March 19th at about 11:15 in the morning, and I'm going to try and do a little better with the tomatoes. I noticed last time I said I got a little here, a little there, a little there, and it was like I wasn't moving the camera enough. So let's see, we got 5 of them here. I'm trying to get them right in the center of the frame there. Then I'm going to move around here and show you that I've got about 5 of them right there. I've got at least 2 more. Now this is the tricky part, trying to get those in frame. I think that's got them in frame now. 2 more there. And there's another one way in the back there, which is going to be a little hard to see. And I've got some small ones starting up at the top. So I think at last count it was 13 or 14 tomatoes developing on this plant. So that's nice. Let's look at the big planter, because there is a little bit of development. Obviously you can see my spinach is doing nicely. The Butter Crunch, that is the Butter Crunch, right? No, that's a black seeded Simpson. The lettuce is doing nicely. I have moved the screen. It's still stapled in the middle, but I've got it now hanging on the front to protect the basil out front, because I've got the Swiss chard starting there, so that's nice. I've got, this is the Malabar spinach, really small plants in there. Kind of hard to see maybe. Actually, there's one near the back and I wonder if that's the Malabar or a weed. But we'll just let it grow. And then we've got the nasturtium, beech melba, right here, doing nicely. I already showed you the tomato plant. We got the melon patch, doing nicely enough, and no really young buds for me to worry about, although there's this one odd thing here where I've got just a little stalk right next to one of them, and I don't know if that's one that the grasshoppers got to. I'm just not going to worry about it. They're all big enough that I'm not as worried about the grasshoppers now. This was the Butter Crunch that I was letting go to seed. Still kind of waiting to be able to harvest something. I may not be able to do much with this. You can kind of just see the ones that aren't growing yet. But as we move along, we've got the Swiss chard. And we got the Pac-Man broccoli, which has gone from flower now to the seed pods. And I looked it up again and I thought I was going to be harvesting from the flowers, and I was trying to figure out why I couldn't really find any seeds. Now I went back and looked it up, and this is all of this you see is the seed pods starting, and actually it's starting to look better down below too, but I'm not going to try and really harvest anything from that. So I'll just let this keep growing until it gets to a reasonable size, and then I'll cut it off, and then you got to let it dry out for a couple of weeks, and then you can harvest the seeds and then finally plant them. We've got the radishes and the carrots doing reasonably nice up in the front of the planter, but not much going on in the back. Over here we've got the geraniums doing nicely, and we've got the morning glories doing nicely. Snapdragons are starting to bounce back. The nasturtiums are doing okay. The tomatoes, a little bit more than worse for wear. I'm not sure exactly. These were the cuttings that I tried to transplant, so we'll see what we can do with those. Going beyond that, out in the courtyard, or out by the office there, I've got those 2 petunias. I have cut off all the dead stuff I could find, even pulling off dead leaves. So I'm hoping that just by scaling them way back like that, that they'll kind of bounce back nicely. So that's what's going on there. And I have reduced the size of the nursery because a number of them just weren't doing anything, so I just moved them down there for now. I'll figure out what to do with this sometime soon. Actually at the moment, I just point right on up at the sky. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's been really gloomy yesterday and today, and it looks like probably tomorrow too. The forecast says it's going to get sunny, but I haven't seen the sun, so this is kind of the opposite of when we were promising rain and we got sun. So now they're telling us we're going to get sun after some fog, and it just stays gloomy all day. June gloom in March. Anyway, let's move on. No major changes out here. And we'll just kind of come around so you can see what the planter boxes are looking like. That one's really looking sick. But then, by the same token, so is the Nandina, which is down to just a few leaves. So I don't know how to interpret that. I think I might have to move these for more sun. We'll see. And over here in the north courtyard, we've got the nasturtiums, the orange ones, looking a bit worse for wear. I mean, I was letting some of it sort of, when the flowers pass, so that I could get the seeds, maybe even get a photo. But with the gloomy weather, no actual sun. I mean, it's bright out, it's light out. You can tell the sun is up in the sky, but you don't see any blue, you don't see any sign of it. So I think that's kind of what's hurting these plants. They're a bit sensitive to that. We got that one over there, and then we got the other ones over here, which are doing a little bit better, probably because they got more leaves. But we'll see. Hopefully the sun will come out soon, but not too bright, not too hot. I think that's it for today. Good morning, gardening friends. It's now, let's see, the 23rd, March 23rd at just before 9 a.m. And just to give you a quickie update, tomato plant's doing beautifully. I wish I could show you all the tomatoes, but I'm kind of realizing it's really hard to show all of them. But I just did a quick count. It looks like I got about 21 of them on this plant. Let's take a look up in the big planter. What do we got here? The Simpson lettuce is doing okay. The spinach is doing really nicely. Looks like we've finally got plants in the Flaming Malabar spinach. Whether those are the actual spinach plants or some of them might be weeds, I don't know. This Swiss chard's doing okay. I'll pull back the screen here to see about the basil, but I'm just not seeing anything yet, so perhaps it's been too cold or too hot or something. I'm gonna have to do a little research and try and figure out why that's not working. Or maybe it's the screen. The melon patch is doing okay. And I'll just kind of pan along here so you can see all the rest of it. Now the tomato cuttings haven't been doing all that well. And I'll show you that. So the color just doesn't look very good. They haven't completely gone brown and died, but I tried some coffee grounds earlier this week, and then they seem to kind of fold over a bit or wilt a little bit more, so I've now put some Miracle Grow in there, which is just a bit more balanced, and let's see how much that might actually help. That's pretty much it for here. There hasn't been a whole lot of change elsewhere, so I think that'll wrap it up for the week. And I may have a good surprise for you for next week.